my dear friends, and welcome back to Mr. Story Channel. Today, I have a story that will surely make your heart smile. A story about someone small in size, but with a heart big enough to hold something truly special: forgiveness. This is the story of Zacchaeus in the tree. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's walk together through the streets of Jericho. Jericho was a bright, busy city. The market was full of voices: traders selling fruits, children laughing, donkeys braying, and the smell of sweet bread floating through the air. And in the middle of all that noise lived a man named Zacchaeus. He wasn't tall, actually, he was quite short. But everyone knew him because Zacchaeus was the chief tax collector. Now, in those days, tax collectors were not very popular. They worked for the Romans and often took more money than they should. And Zacchaeus? Oh, he was rich, but not very loved. People would whisper as he passed by, "There he goes, that greedy man," or "He takes our money but doesn't care about us." Deep inside, Zacchaeus heard those words. And though he smiled, his heart felt a little lonely. One day, something exciting happened. News spread across Jericho that Jesus was coming. Everyone rushed out to see him. The streets filled with people, old and young, rich and poor, all waiting for a glimpse of the teacher who healed the sick and spoke with kindness. Zacchaeus wanted to see him too, but when he reached the crowd, oh no, he couldn't see a thing. Everyone was taller than him. He tried standing on tiptoes, he tried squeezing through, but the people pushed him away. "No, Zacchaeus, you've cheated us. Stay back." But Zacchaeus was determined. Something deep inside him said, "I must see Jesus." Then Zacchaeus had an idea. He looked up and saw a big sycamore tree by the road. He ran ahead of the crowd, grabbed the branches, and began to climb. Up, up, and up he went. He scratched his knees, got dirt on his clothes, but finally he made it. From the top of that tree, Zacchaeus could see everything. He smiled as he caught his breath, watching the crowd move closer. And there, in the middle, was Jesus. As Jesus walked by, surrounded by people asking for healing and blessings, he suddenly stopped and looked up into the tree. The crowd went silent. Then, with a smile, Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, come down right now. I must stay at your house today." Everyone gasped. "Zacchaeus? Why him? He's a sinner. He doesn't deserve Jesus' attention." But Zacchaeus froze. Jesus had called him by name. No one had said his name so kindly in years. His eyes filled with tears. He quickly climbed down, almost slipping, and said joyfully, "Yes, Lord, come to my house. You are most welcome." That day, Jesus sat at Zacchaeus' table. They ate together bread, honey, fresh figs. And the house that once felt cold and empty was now filled with laughter and light. The people outside whispered, "Jesus is eating with a sinner." But Jesus didn't care. He saw not who Zacchaeus was, but who he could become. As they talked, Zacchaeus' heart began to change. He remembered all the people he had hurt, the money he had taken unfairly. Then he stood up and said, "Lord, I will give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times as much." Jesus smiled and said, "Today salvation has come to this house, for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost." And in that moment, Zacchaeus, the small man in the tree, became a giant in faith. From that day on, Zacchaeus was different. He was kind, fair, and generous. People who once avoided him now greeted him with smiles. He walked through the market not with greed, but with gratitude. He finally understood what it meant to be truly rich, not in money, but in love and forgiveness. Sometimes, when Zacchaeus passed by the sycamore tree, he would look up and smile. He'd whisper, "That's where I found Jesus, and where he found me."
This story reminds us of something beautiful, that no one is too small, too wrong, or too far away to be forgiven. When we open our hearts to Jesus, He calls us by name and invites Himself into our lives, just like He did with Zacchaeus. And when we let Him in, He changes us from the inside out. And that, dear friends, is the story of Zacchaeus in the tree, the small man with the big heart. He climbed a tree to see Jesus, but found something far greater: forgiveness, love, and a brand new life. So remember, my friends, no matter who you are or what you've done, Jesus sees you, calls your name, and wants to stay in your heart too. Thank you for listening to Mr. Story Channel. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can find the light of forgiveness and joy.